Alright, this is the texture talk of my ship. As you can see here, there is only half a ship, and that's because of the way I unwrapped it. Also, for the sake of this video, I've set it to about 1K as opposed, oh pardon me, as opposed to 4K, which is what the textures are in engine. And the reason they're that high is because I wanted as much detail on the floor as possible. Because looking at my Unit 12 project, the floor texture was one of my weaknesses in that area, so I wanted to just improve that a lot. In terms of texturing, what I will do is just disable most things. Alright, so no idea what that layer's for. Don't think I need that. So first of all, I duplicated my normal map, as you can see here, just to it strengthens it up a bit. And then finally I added one of my B2M materials, which is my laminate flooring. As you can see here, it doesn't actually look that good. Yeah, so following that, if you don't know what this is for. Okay, I then have the planks. Yeah, okay, so the planks are here, which is black, maximum height, well, minimum height, so it's going inwards, maximum roughness, and that is being generated by a brick generator. So it's a black mask, then a fill, then a brick generator, and then here in patterns I then mixed around with those and the scale just to get like something I liked. And then for some reason I have two of them, which I'm not necessarily sure why I do. I then have added depth, and as you can see here, luckily I only have one. Otherwise, like, it gets a bit too strong. I mean, it does look good like that, but I feel like it was a bit too strong. So what this is a black, maximum height, maximum roughness, and that is being generated by a fill layer, and this fill layer was my high poly height bake. Go to textures here, which I then went into Photoshop, and well, it was there, but it's now in the project. I took into Photoshop, made all the grey bits black, but this isn't the black version. Oh, it's because it's inverted. Yep. So made it black, and then paint. What did I paint on? I can't see what areas I painted. Oh, it's those areas there. For some reason with the bake there was a little bit of weirdness, and then if I wanted a little bit more depth I could just duplicate those layers, which I feel does work, but I feel like the blacker it is, the less depth it actually looks. Like there, it looks quite deep. Obviously it's at a bit of a low resolution, so you can't see it as much. Then there's the cannon holes, which are just painted on squares, the black mask and then a paint. I then played around with the colours a bit. So added fill layer multiplier sets to that, and then played around with the colours there. And I believe that, yep, that is all my cannon holes, which was quite metallic, quite rough, and then just like painted on like that. So an example of that is like, and a bit of high as well, something like that, just painted on each of these planks. And I really love how this came out, especially with like all of these, like the variations in the planks. I mean, you can see here that I actually used two of the same planks right next to each other, but no, you know they're different. So that's got a gap there. Okay, right. I'm not as lazy as I thought I was, which is good. For the unwrapping, as you can see here, I only unwrapped half, and if you do look, there is quite a difference in the texture resolutions, and that's because I wanted these three here, which are the floors, to have as much texture resolution as possible, because that's what the player would see the most. So that's what I wanted to focus on. This was done pretty much the same way I did most of my other unwrapping, which is essentially selecting all the hard edges and then just creating a seam from it. It wasn't that difficult, but around here where you have hard edges in each of these, that was the most time consuming part, is in those little gaps there. But generally it was fairly easy. I mean, you can see just selected that as well. One thing I did not account for was the high poly mirroring over. I'll show a screenshot of the UE4 scene, but in some cases you can see where it mirrors over, and that's something I didn't think of until after. Generally it looks alright, but there are some areas where like the planks may go like a little bit past the mirror line, so it looks like there's no gap between planks. But that was one thing I didn't think of, but overall the unwrapping was fairly straightforward. See, I got island here, island here, island there, island there, island there. So like, I've got like essentially islands where they need to be, but it's not too many, which is good. So yeah, that's the ship unwrapping and texture talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.